Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name's Lynn Hayes, and in today's video I want to talk about Mars square Pluto. Over the past couple of months, as Mars has traveled through Aries, it's made challenging square aspects to the three planets that are in Capricorn, starting with Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn back in the summer. And then most recently, Mars formed a square to Saturn, and now it's working its way back through to Pluto and to Jupiter as Mars continues its retrograde journey. So the square from Mars to Pluto is pretty significant, and I thought maybe it would deserve its own little video. Mars traditionally is called a malefic planet. It's associated with war, with violence, with aggression. It's associated with knives and weapons and blood, and it's just generally kind of considered to be a nasty guy. But Mars really serves an important purpose from a psychological perspective, but also from an evolutionary perspective. Mars shows where we need to be bold, where we need to be courageous, where we need to face our life with a sense of passion and desire. In a lot of ways, Mars represents what Freud called the id, which was kind of that primal instinctive reaction of need and desire. And we see that with infants. You know, the infants are in the crib, they're telling us what they need. They're crying when they're frustrated because they want to get out of the crib. It's just that basic need. That's really what Mars represents. It's all about what is it that I want and how do I go about getting it? How well do I defend it once I have it? So Mars also has to do with setting good boundaries. Pluto is a modern planet. It's a transformational planet. So it works on a more transformative level, where Mars is the part of ourselves that has this need, that has this desire. Pluto is a transformational force that inspires us, that motivates us to transform in our evolutionary journey. There is a concept that we call the higher octave planets, and they inspire us to raise our consciousness to a higher level that lifts us beyond ego into service and into personal growth and evolution. Pluto acts as the higher octave planet to Mars, where Mars represents the individual will, the desire nature, our own personal anger, what we need. In my view, Pluto represents the will of the higher self. Now, will and desire are two very different things. They are related because desire is the doorway to will. But where desire comes from the lower self, it comes from the gratification of our personal ego. The higher self is the part of ourself that provides direction, that provides guidance. It can be also called your guardian angel or your spirit guides. When desire is focused and aligned with our transformational self, the ability to create becomes more profound. Pluto has a great deal to do with the satisfaction of our desires that take us to a higher place. When we're looking at a square aspect between two planets, a 90-degree angle, there can be conflict. So when we have Mars, the planet of desire and need, and a challenging square to Pluto, the higher self, the power of transformation, the power of creative destruction, there can be a lot of conflict, and we've certainly seen that over the last few months. But squares create conflict so that there can be resolution, and for that reason, they can be very powerful. So when we have the power of the personal will in this strong aspect to the power of the transformational will, we can really create some powerful change and transformation. When I see a client who has Mars in a challenging square to Pluto in the natal chart, often that's an indication that there's been some kind of violence or some kind of abuse in that person's life. Sometimes it's been physical, sometimes sexual, sometimes emotional. Sometimes there's just been an energy in the family, but there nearly always is tremendous challenges with that aspect in the natal chart. And the reason for that, I feel from an evolutionary perspective, is that when Mars is in a square to Pluto, we are really meant to understand and learn about the power of transforming this personal desire into the will of our higher self. And we can therefore expand our power of creative transformation. So how can we learn to use the power of this Mars square Pluto transit that we're undergoing right now? The first phase of the square occurred on August 13th. And we're in the second phase now, and it will be in exact alignment on October 9th. The last exact square won't happen until December 23rd, so it ought to be a very interesting Christmas holiday. But while Mars is in a square to the Capricorn planets, we can't really just talk about Mars squaring Pluto without talking about Mars squaring Jupiter and Mars squaring Saturn. Those three are all traveling together. And as the moon goes through the cardinal signs, it's going to activate this square. Under this influence, there's a potential for explosions and fires and increased aggression. But there is also the power available to us to create through the sheer force of will. It's an important opportunity for those of us on any kind of evolutionary path to learn how to elevate our personal needs and our personal desires that will help to activate service and transformation. So we may want to start asking ourselves these questions. Is what we desire in alignment with our personal intentions and for our personal growth and for the good of all concerned? We can think about the satisfaction of our personal desires as bringing happiness. I want a new car. I want to travel, which can't do right now. So we have to find things in our lives that are going to bring us joy, not just temporary satisfaction. That is very fleeting. You might want a new car, and after a month it's no longer new. It doesn't have that same ability to really bring happiness. Things that bring us joy are more permanent. They bring a sense of exhilaration. They bring a sense of bliss. So I hope that you found this interesting and maybe a little bit helpful as we navigate this transit over the next couple of months. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments, and I'll look forward to seeing you for our regular video on Monday. Thanks again for joining me.